Have you ever wondered how many books are there in the world? I found out that there are approximately 130 million books all over the world and counting. As a non-voracious reader, I always find myself having this FOMO of not being able to read all the books that is there in the world. Let's assume for a second that you manage to read one book every single day of your entire life, and let's assume that you live up to an age of 100 years old. Within your entire lifetime, you would manage to read 36,500 books, which out of 134 million books is barely 0.03%. We have barely scratched the surface. And let's not forget our friend compounding over here. Over the course of your 100 years lifetime, there'll be another 20 million books published at the rate of 200,000 books every single year. I guess now you are able to understand the scale of the problem that we are having over here. Even at this insane hypothetical speed of reading, we are only able to read a tiny, tiny portion of the knowledge that is out there. And for the longest time, I've been carrying this FOMO in my heart or in my head. I mean, wherever you carry your FOMO. Anytime I would sit down to read a book, I would just be stressed thinking it's taking far too long for me to finish this chapter. When can I finish this fast so that I can move on to the next chapter and then to the next book? It's just I could not read or enjoy books in peace until I found Naval Ravikant.
And the reality is I would rather read the best 100 books over and over again until I absorb them rather than read all the books.
Right. I was like mind blown. I was already thinking how this idea could solve my fear of missing out of reading many books and how I could, just focus on the really good books and absorb them to the fullest of my capacity. So I began that mission. And by mission, I mean I did a Google search. You could also do an AI search. I found that there are several websites out there that provide this kind of list where they rank a book on various different criteria, and I finally settled on goodbooks.io. By the way, I don't have any affiliation of whatsoever with this website. It seems that it collects the recommendation of successful people worldwide, authors, scientists, businessmen, entrepreneurs, celebrities from all different backgrounds, and it collects their recommendation and then it sorts based on which book is recommended the most by these influential people, and then gives us the recommendation, which has personally worked very nicely for me. But this solution still has a tiny problem. We live in a day and age where instant gratification is the norm. You want to buy something? Done. You want to download something? Done. Do you want to send a message? Done. While some aspect of our life is near instant, but building businesses, learning new things, learning a new skill, these things are not instant. It's because there's a quote that goes something like, we have Stone Age emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology, said by Edward O. Wilson. So that's my problem. Even after narrowing down 134 million books down to, just top 100, I was still not satisfied. I still had to read all those 100 books. While I did already have several books in my collection, or some of the books that I had already read, I still had a long list of books that I had to study. So what should I do? What I did was I went ahead and created a summary of top 100 books. I mean, this is not the summary. This is the summary of top 100 books. one page for each of the book. I ask ChatGPT to summarize the book and also summarize each chapter so that I have the key takeaways from each book collectively and from each chapter and have the maximum amount of value by spending the least amount of time. So if you want this PDF, you can click on the link on the description. But please take this idea with a grain of salt, because while this idea helps you get a jump start on the books and gives you an overall feel of what the book is going to be like, it also avoids going through the nuances of understanding a topic from depth. You will miss the author's style of telling you information. Any AI tool that's going to summarize you, it will be pretty bland. All those explanations, they have a very AI-like summary, and it doesn't feel like you're talking to a real person. It's like taking a bland smoothie. You get all the health benefits for sure, but it's not very much fun. A good thing about this approach is I can group related books in a group. So I have created some groups such as biographies, personal development, philosophy, a little bit of everything, science, a lot of books on business and understanding human psychology. A problem with this approach is that if you have other interest that is not too mainstream, you will not find any recommendations in this website. So I do have some interest on ancient books and books on psychedelics. So I did my own research again, found out some of the really good books on those domains. What I did was I again asked ChatGPT to summarize all those books in the same manner. This is not the perfect approach. Once again, I would not tell you to simply do this and never touch any book, but as a temporary solution to get over the FOMO, to get the sense that you have control over what you read and the information that you read is of high quality or is really a supreme material or supreme content in some ways. In order to get that feeling and not be restless, I think this approach really works nicely for me. And if you are someone who is stuck or who feels like you don't know where to start, using a pre-made solutions, get the idea or the feel of a book, and then go ahead and buy the book or get a digital copy or do something from there. I think this helps to mitigate this FOMO to me, and I hope this helps you as well. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.